Hi, what's up? I just want to quickly talk about why I put on weight on the Raw Till 4 lifestyle, listening to Freelee's advice about Raw Till 4. Why did I put on weight? The reason why I put on weight in the beginning was because, and there's a few reasons, and some people might say, well, that can't be the reason, but for me, I think these are the reasons. The first one was I actually wasn't doing very much exercise at that point because I had some injuries that I was nursing, so I wasn't doing very much exercise. Number two, I wasn't drinking enough water, and so I actually bloated up quite a lot. Some people say, oh, well, when you're eating loads of water-rich fruit, you don't really need to drink a lot of water. But really, I beg to differ with that because Dr. Doug Graham, in his talk, when I went to the fruit festival, actually did say that if you're eating a lot of high-sugar fruit, you really do need to drink water. So I try to drink 750 millilitres of water before each meal, 750 millilitres to a litre before each meal. I wasn't doing that in the beginning. I was kind of just having sips of water here and there because I just felt like I didn't need to drink it because I was having all that fruit. So, yeah, 750 millilitres of water, a litre to a litre of water before every single meal, and sips throughout the day as well. I wasn't really eating enough as well. I was kind of like having like 4 plums for breakfast, and that's it. And then for a snack, I'd have some dates, and then some banana, and then I wasn't eating enough, and so I really do think that my body went into starvation mode at one point. There's that, I wasn't eating enough, and then the next thing as well is sometimes when you don't eat enough, you end up binging on other things. And so some people will say, I'm fully Raw Till 4, I've been doing this, and I haven't, unless you've got a camera in that person's house and you can see exactly what they're consuming on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes there's a lot of things that they're eating that they won't say. You know, they'll be like, oh, I haven't had enough food, I'm going to go and binge on a massive bag of potato chips, which is very, very high fat. Or I'm going to go and have like a really big curry with like loads of oil and ghee and all that stuff in it, yeah? Sometimes when you don't eat enough of the fruit, what you find is you're very, very hungry. Not even so much hungry, but you're craving the things that you shouldn't be having. So if you get enough fruit in the day, you don't get that craving. You don't feel that craving at all. And one of the things I was doing in the beginning as well, I was doing this calorie restriction thing, which on this lifestyle, I don't think it's a very good thing to do, because you can actually get obsessed with it and start like, oh, I can only have 2,000 calories in a day and that's it, maximum. And sometimes that amount of calories isn't enough. You don't feel full, because you can get 1,000 calories of fruit, and those 1,000 calories of fruit are not going to be equal to 1,000 calories of pizza. People have argued about this with me so many times, and I don't actually agree. I don't agree with it at all. I'm not an expert, but I don't agree with it. And I'll tell you why. Because I have experimented on myself. I used to eat a lot of things like pizza and stuff like that. Like, so I would eat like the same amount of calories of food in terms of junk food, and then the same amount of calories of fruit, and I wouldn't put on weight with the fruit, but I would put on weight with the other food that I was eating, the junk food, the processed food. I'll put on weight with that, but I wouldn't put on weight with the fruit. So yeah, I was also going to restaurants, and then what I wouldn't do would have my fully raw day, because Freelee recommends that you have a fully raw day. And I've spoken to quite a few people that are doing Raw Till 4 and they don't do their fully raw day, but they have a lot of like really kind of high sodium food. They go to a restaurant and then the next day they don't have a fully raw day. I think if you do go to a restaurant, the next day should be a fully raw day. Like, no cooked food for that day, just have a fully raw day for that day after you've had your restaurant food. So in the beginning I wasn't doing a fully raw day. I was just eating my restaurant food, and then the next day just not having any fully raw. Like, I'll just carry on as normal basically. So those are the reasons why I put on weight. I really don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know all the scientific jargon, as in like I might have researched it and seen it online, but I'm not a scientist basically. I'm not a nutritional expert either. So before people start jumping down my throat and saying, oh, that's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Well, for me, those are the reasons why I put on weight. And when I stopped doing things that way, I started to see an improvement. I started to lose weight again, because I went home to my sister like a couple of weeks ago and she told me that I've lost weight. But before that, when I went there, she was like, wow, you've put on loads of weight. And what the difference is the fact that I was drinking more water, exercising more, having a fully raw day, or trying to have a fully raw day, and eating as much as I needed to eat. Instead of saying, oh, I'm only going to have 1,325 calories today and that's it, and I'm going to just drink water for the rest of the day. No. I was eating enough. And now I've kind of reached that breakthrough point where I'm actually starting to reduce weight. So, if you are struggling with the raw till 4 lifestyle and you're thinking, it's not for me, this is not working, then reevaluate what you're doing and see if there are certain things that you're doing that might be affecting your weight gain or your weight loss. See if you go to restaurants every week, yeah, and see exactly what's in that food. See if you buy bottled, jarred sauces and stuff. See exactly what's in there. Do the research about what's in some of these things. Also, greens. Here's the end of it for me. Greens. A lot of people said, don't have too much greens because there's not enough calories in the greens. Don't have it. But I actually don't agree with this. I think that you do need to have some greens in your diet. And I think that sometimes people don't have enough greens, and I think that can actually affect your progress if you're not having enough greens. Not to say that all your meals you should have like a meal just of greens and that's it, and not have any fruit with it. But I think that greens can actually help. They can actually help. I do actually believe that they can help. So I think that you should try and consume more greens if you're not having it. Because I found that once I started to add a bit more greens into my diet, and I mean dark leafy greens like kale and spinach and Swiss chard and collard greens, once I started including those more into my diet, I did start to lose more weight as well. So add more greens. The thing is, there's no harm in adding more greens because greens help to cleanse the blood. Greens help to keep you feeling fuller for longer because they're packed with fiber. You know, greens have also got vitamin C. Greens have also got magnesium, and obviously the chlorophyll. It helps to cleanse your blood. Magnesium is known as nature's tranquilizer. So if you suffer with depression or anxiety or any of those kind of problems, it can actually help if you do add more greens into your diet. So, not to say you should have a whole meal of greens, but have greens with your fruit. So for like a smoothie, you can even just add your greens with your bananas and have a smoothie with greens and bananas. Don't reduce the amount of bananas that you have, but add some greens into it as well. And I think that can help because obviously it's extra fiber as well. So add more greens. Add more greens. Drink plenty of water. Exercise more. Look at what you're eating in terms of the bottled food that you're getting. Make sure you are getting enough food into your diet for each day. And you don't need to restrict your calories. I really don't believe in this. When you're doing this lifestyle, I really do not believe that you need to restrict your calories at all. I'm going to leave some links below of some videos and some research about this calorie restriction thing. And I do not think you need to restrict your calories when you're like high carb, low fat. But if you're starting out and you're very overweight and you need to lose the weight, you know, try and have your one raw day. If you're not doing it, try and have your one raw day and see how that helps you. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. He's Enough of Vlogging for Health. I'll speak to you guys again soon. Bye.